and WrestleLogic here, another edition of Pints Up or Down for SmackDown and Raw. And Chris, the real deal, still back. He's done filming with The Rock, and so he's back now to be able to do this with us. Back down us here with the little people.
Hey, and it feels good to be back here. I missed last week, and I apologize for those who are watching. I love doing this every week. So that won't happen very often, but if it does and I get booked for movie roles, I gotta take it, Paul.
It's true. It's true. You know, the big leagues. Back at the Speed Shop again. Thank you again to Leighton Broadcasting for letting us use your space last week. And, of course, a special thank you to Coda Jacobs for being a part of it and standing in for Chris Steele last week.
I never know, Coda. Sometime I might see you down the road. I don't know when it might be, but...
So once again, before we get going, though, don't forget to like, share the video, subscribe to the YouTube page, Real Deal TV on YouTube. It really helps us out and helps spread the word on making sure that we're keeping wrestling logical, because that's what it's all about. So let's get into it, because that's what it's about. It's about the wrestling,
It's about it.
It's about the wrestling.
And I got the wrestling side. You got the hardcore fan side. Let's do this.
All right, let's do it. So Raw kicking off. Little different. You know, what has it been lately? Usually Kurt always comes out.
Mike on the mic and for 20 minutes, and we had something different.
No, Braun came out to start Raw. I was just like, what? So Braun's music hits, and I even put there, Braun starts. Weird. I literally wrote that.
It doesn't go towards the drinks, but let's just drink to not having to hear Kurt Angle for once.
Oh, I mean, I don't mind Kurt, but yeah, it's nice to...
Right, just switch things up. That's all I'm talking about. I like Kurt Angle just as much as anybody else.
It is a delicious blackberry saison from Island City Brewing Company.
Perfect.
By the way. Delicious. Great on a hot summer day. But yeah, Braun starts and starts kind of blowing up that he's going to win the Money in the Bank match. And so then Finn comes out and kind of gives his like, hey, listen, I took you to the limit last week. And he kind of did. Yeah. I mean, that was quite the David and Goliath story. Finn really held his own, obviously lost. But so what happens is then Kurt comes out and decides that they need to have a rematch. So Kevin Owens is doing guest commentary, and I kind of liked his whole, like, grabbing a mic and, like, yelling at them, like, in mid-match. Like, we haven't seen anything like that in a long time, so it was kind of fun. But, yeah, then, like, it really looked like Finn was going to win.
Well, yeah, and, I mean, obviously, if this was a matchup in real life, it's David versus Goliath. It wouldn't even happen, but this is sports entertainment, so they're going to do this, and it's interesting to see how it's not how Braun's going to do it. We know you can pick him up by his throat, pick him up by the hair, whatever he wants to do. It's how is Finn going to play this match, and that's what I always find interesting.
Yeah, he did a great job. I mean, and that was what I liked about it was realistic the way he was getting the upper hand.
Right.
It was done smart. Like Finn really had to think about his moveset. What am I going to do to bring him down? Attacking the knee, attacking the midsection to really keep him down. And it worked really well. But like there was the standing coup de grace, then the final coup de grace, then he was going up for another one, and then shenanigans from Kevin Owens. Which he's a heel. It's good for him for doing that. I was a little miffed because I was like, I thought it would have been really good for Finn's momentum for him to get a win over Braun. But I think in this case, it keeps everyone still looking strong. Braun still looks strong. Obviously, everyone knows that, like, oh my God, Finn almost won. And then Kevin Owens still looks like a dick. So.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't want to drink to it just because I wanted to see the outcome. I was interested because here we got the coup de grace, and then we don't get to see what happens after that, which, storyline, that makes sense. But I was so interested in seeing, well, is this going to happen?
Yeah.
But I know they couldn't make Braun look weak, so I knew it was going to happen. So I'm not going to drink to it, but you got to figure it out. So far,
you know what? And I'm not going to drink to it either. As much as I love Braun and I love Finn, I'm in the same boat as you are, and I'm going to add on to this for the next match, which is the deciding factor on why I'm not drinking to this.
Okay.
So, moving forward, Elias, my guy, what does WWE stand for?
Walk with Elias.
Indeed it does. So Elias is out, and they went an entire commercial break of him trying to get people to shut up.
I know.
I was not expecting that. That was funny. Like, when they came back, I thought they would have moved on and something else would have been happening. But no, here he is still arguing with the crowd. I was like, holy crap.
Well, yeah,
still?
and see, I've heard back in WCW when Chris Jericho was going through how many movesets that he has. Between commercial breaks, they sit there and razz the crowd with telling them their team suck and all this. So that way when you come back from the commercial break, they're still booing you. Yeah. I was really surprised, though, that they took a break in between that, and it's kind of odd, but It's like, what was he doing the whole time?
Create more heat for him.
Yep.
It worked out, and it made it seem like he was had major heat, of course, when it came back.
Yep.
Then, of course, he doesn't even get to sing. Seth comes out and burns it down, and he even chucks his stool out of the ring, which I thought was
hilarious.
kind of funny in its own way. And,
Elias didn't do anything; just looked.
no,
at
he
it.
did, yeah. Which when he originally just walked away, I was just like, "That's not cool." But then we'll see what happens shortly.
Yep.
So actually, a really good match between Seth and Jinder.
Yep.
Seth made Jinder look good. Jinder actually had a really good match. Everything he did it really well. I wouldn't say I've ever been blown away by his work. I wouldn't say that he's bad, but Seth just really knows how to make people look good.
Right, yeah, and I like Jinder, and some people are like, I don't really care much for Jinder, but he's actually a better worker than he probably gets credit for. Yep. And we didn't get to see a whole lot of him when he was in 3MB because, they were just basically jobbers, and they didn't get to show their skill. Jinder finally gets to show his skill. Not that Seth probably didn't make him look good, but Jinder still has the skill to be there.
Yeah, yep.
And it was an interesting match, and then I love what happened at the end because it keeps me going, oh, what's next?
Yep, exactly. So obviously Seth wins, but via DQ.
Right,
basically Jinder took him to the limit. He got mad. And that, by the way, is why I didn't drink to the first match. I didn't like 2 DQ finishes in a row. However, I'm going to drink to this one because I feel the storytelling was better. Because it was more of a, I'm pissed off at these guys. That's why I'm going to DQ myself with a chair, because he hit me with a chair. I'm going to hit him back.
Well, not only that, his buddy gets in the ring as well. And
Oh,
he's
yeah,
sitting there fending off 2 guys.
yeah.
So they kept feeding the fire, and then he eventually just got so pissed off that he just, screw it, I'm hitting you with the chair. But then what happens at the end when he's standing up celebrating on the announcer's table? Pow!
Guitar shot from, that was like Jeff Jarrett style.
I know.
That was so good. So I'm drinking to this one because I feel that the storytelling warranted the DQ finish, where the one before, it was kind of random that it was just KO.
Yeah, he just ran up there and pushed him in.
Yeah. So
I'm drinking this one.
Pints up.
Perfect. You know what I found funny about that is when Seth Rollins is in the neck brace and he's on the stretcher, they start singing happy birthday to him, and that was so funny. I was laughing about that one.
So happy birthday, Seth, by the way.
Happy
birthday. And I think Roman's birthday was last week, and we didn't acknowledge it, so I guess...
Well, I don't think the crowd would like us if we did that. We're trying to get likes. We're trying to get subscribers and shares.
We got to be fair, though. I got to say happy birthday to the big dog. So, anyway, moving on. All right, up next, Nia versus a jobber, basically, which, it wasn't even really a match.
No.
It was literally just...
a segment.
It was literally Nia saying, hey, Rhonda, because Rhonda was on the commentary table. Basically, it was, hey, Rhonda, this is what I'm going to do to you. And so this poor, I feel, enhancement talent, because jobber is offensive to some, I found out recently. So this enhancement talent basically is just there so Nia can show moves. It made me smile, like it was kind of a funny little segment, but I don't know if I can drink to it, because it was kind of, to me what this did was this made Nia look like a heel. All of a sudden she's a heel.
Right, and we're trying to figure out, that's the thing, a couple weeks ago, we were talking about when they had the match, they saw each other, they had the interview on TV, and then they challenged each other, and we're like, well, who's face and who's heel here? Right now, it seems as we got 2 faces, but it's almost like they're pushing Nia to be the heel on this portion. And I think that's what's going to end up happening match-wise as a worker. Nia's going to play the heel portion. Ronda's going to play the face. And why that is because Nia has more experience in the ring. And usually the heel, they're the ones that take control of the match because they're the veteran worker, which makes sense.
Yep.
I kind of was laughing to it, but she picked her up like a rag doll. I'm not going to drink to it just because it was a segment. I like to drink to the matches more than anything. So,
yeah.
But I'm interested to see the match. I tell everyone this. I'm interested to say, well, who's going to lose? Because either way, to me, it seems like a lose-lose situation. If Ronda loses, she looks weak, and that's her 3rd loss now. And then if Nia loses, she had the belt for how long? Not very long at all. And then she doesn't look as strong as she's supposed to.
Yeah. So, like you said, I am excited to see the match, but more of just how in the hell is this going to play out?
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I'm actually getting more and more excited every day for Money in the Bank. I think it's building up to be an absolutely fantastic show, and after coming off of Botchlash, can't do much worse. So only uphill from here, right, WWE?
That's
you'll screw it up somehow. Up next, and you're going to be surprised at this next thing.
Am I?
So Ascension versus Bray and Matt. Kind of a squash match. I really feel bad for the Ascension because I actually really kind of like their gimmick. But for the first time in a very long time, I am not going to drink to Bray and Matt. But it's not because of anything they did. It's not because of anything the Ascension did. It's because they literally in this match WWE admitted that they have no freaking clue what they're doing with their tag division right now.
And that's true. I mean, let's just go off the Ascension. What was like 2 years ago they debuted. They went up like this. They were squashing people, and now they're down here getting squashed. So yeah, you're right. WWE has no clue what they're doing in this tag division. So let's hope that Dolph and Drew get in that mix then.
I hope so, but from the looks of it and from what a lot of rumors flying around, which we'll get to in a little bit, there's quite a big plan for that right now for them that does not involve the tag titles yet. So not drinking to this. First time I haven't drinking to Bray and Matt, but once again, it's not anything that they did wrong. There was nothing wrong with the match. I want them to have some direction with the tag division, and there is none right now on Raw.
Yeah, it's confusing.
So up next, B Team. They're still hilarious to me.
Were their shirts made with Sharpies?
I think so, but I have a feeling that eventually they're actually going to like print them that way.
Yeah.
And you can actually buy them. I hope so, because unfortunately I would probably buy one. Because have you seen my collection? I've been wearing a different one every week, and I've still got plenty.
He hasn't even doubled up.
No, I've still got plenty more. I don't have to double up for probably another like 12 weeks. So.
Well, hopefully you got some old ones in the closet. That'd be great to see.
I do. Well, you saw my one last week, didn't you? It was Nature Boy.
Yeah.
Nature Boy. And just wait, I already got my one picked out for next week. You'll appreciate next week. So, for the retro fans. Up next, though, like I said, B Team. It was backstage. Wasn't really anything that's like worth drinking over. But God, these guys are hilarious.
Yeah, they're actually funny now. They let him do something.
And the whole bit with like we deserve a title shot, and he says no, you haven't done anything to impress the tag division. So they take that as we don't have to wrestle the rest of them, we just have to impress them. So all of a sudden, this whole bit with a barbecue, and I'm just like, okay, this is going to be interesting to see where this goes. So it hooked me.
Yeah.
It hooked me because I'm like, okay, how is this going to play out? Up next, a little bit confusing. All of a sudden it was, that's right, because Kevin was trying to leave because he figured he pissed off Braun for screwing up the match.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, watching Braun Strowman throw a ladder halfway up the ramp was pretty badass, too. I forgot to mention that before, but that was pretty crazy. So KO versus Bobby Roode, and there was that whole tension of Kevin Owens kind of trying to keep looking over his shoulder, expecting Braun to come, flying out, and I was a little bit sad about this because I really feel that they don't really know what to do with Bobby right now. And I think, of course, it's still the limbo of building up to Money in the Bank that really has a lot to do with that because basically the next few weeks are just going to be filler until Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
so there's not a whole lot they can do.
And I didn't realize how far away Money in the Bank still is.
I know. I feel like this is the longest gap we've had between pay-per-views.
Right.
Like, it just, there's still...
Build up, WWE, build up.
Oh, my God. I feel like they hit it too hard too quickly because we knew everyone that was basically, for the most part, going to be in Money in the Bank, for the last 2 weeks. So now we have 2 weeks of just...
pissing each other off.
Yep, twiddling our thumbs. And, I mean, I guess I can see their thought process behind it was to maybe kind of reverse book it where we know who's going to be in it. Now they're going to butt heads for the next 2 weeks.
Right,
but I could see that also getting old really fast. So hopefully we'll see what happens in the next couple of weeks. But it was a good match overall. And then the whole Braun should be.
I'm not going to drink to it myself just because
No, I'm not either.
It was confusing and there was too much going on. But it still built the storyline from what happened earlier in the night. But I'm just not going to drink to it because it wasn't that exciting. But I love Bobby Roode.
I do, too.
I love his gimmick.
And Kevin Owens. They're both fantastic, but it just didn't make a whole lot of sense. And
yeah.
I mean, it was basically just to continue the Kevin Owens-Braun thing, and they just needed someone for Kevin to be in a match with. So apparently Bobby Roode worked for the time. Up next, oh, God, this just needs to die. The Sami Zayn apology to... apparently Bobby Lashley, which it obviously didn't end up actually being an apology because he just continued to make fun of Bobby Lashley. And so now we're going to have Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn at Money in the Bank, which two good workers. So work-wise, it's going to be a good match, but it's just this.
What's the point?
This feud needs to die. They need to give something better to Bobby fast.
Yeah.
Really fast.
Yeah, they kept talking about building his legacy. He's building upon his legacy. I'm like, well.
By beating up 3 cross-dressers last week, yeah, he wasn't really building a legacy.
Yeah. So, yeah, I hope they give something better to Bobby Lashley eventually. Not that they're not good workers and Sami Zayn's not a good worker. It's just that, to me, if I look at it look at him face to face, I'm like, oh, Bobby Lashley whoops his butt. But
up next, Drew and Chad, because since Dolph beat up Chad last week, now it's Drew's turn to beat up Chad, which I don't know. I liked the match. Drew McIntyre is a workhorse. I mean, this was a great match. It was really exciting to watch him. That Claymore, I love that finisher so much. It just looks so brutal. And when people take it right, and Chad knows how to take it like a champ, the way his head snapped back, I was just like, okay, I know he didn't really take that in the face, but his neck is going to hurt tomorrow. He just sold that so well.
Yeah, I'm going to drink just because of the work of the match, like you said. It was a good working match. I kind of knew the outcome ahead of time, but, I still thought it was a good match. And that's what I'm going at this is from a worker standpoint. So, I'm drinking to that.
Yep, we'll drink. But here's where the rumoring I was hearing comes in.
Dirt sheet.
So what's happening? We have a single guy being beat up by 2 guys. So what needs to happen? Oh, Chad needs somebody. Oh,
who do you think he's gonna get?
Guess who who is completely cleared to return? An illegitimate son?
Yeah.
And ironically, in this case, I am actually kind of looking forward to seeing that.
And maybe the crowd will get back on Jason Jordan's side again because
people loved American Alpha. They were huge.
Right,
people loved them.
Right, and then they tried to do this whole thing with Kurt Angle, and it fizzled off real quick. Got injured, and if he comes back, they're gonna be pretty excited. And maybe they get back in the tag division to get this thing going again.
Yep, and I think that would be a good first feud for real feud for Drew and Dolph. Again, it's a very good team, a very good working team.
Yeah, and they got to figure out who to go against Bray and Matt as well. So.
Yep, and I think, whatever happens with this feud, eventually one of the 2 could move up and finally have a decent feud with Bray and with Matt. So it's a lot of seed planting going on, and I always love that. I'm excited for this portion of it. Up next was the B-Team Barbecue, which... Yeah. You're going to hate me for this, but I'm going to drink to this.
Why?
And the reason I'm going to drink to the only reason I'm going to drink to this is because I was laughing so hard watching Rhino the entire time. He didn't move. He just sat there eating sandwich after sandwich after sandwich. And I was laughing. And he did not move. The entire fight started. All he was doing was throwing sandwiches at people. And I was laughing so hard.
Oh my gosh. So I must have missed that.
Oh my God. That was the funniest part to me and I don't know if you've seen any of, he's been on a guest starred on a few YouTube channels and stuff like that.
I haven't seen those.
He is hilarious. Rhino is awesome. He's got a great guy, got a great personality. And I love the guy. That's why I think he's getting kind of the shaft right now. But this to me was watching him was hilarious. It kind of sucked that then he ended up getting double choke slammed through the table at the end, but it made the B team look good.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I liked the fact that it was the B team, so I kind of wanted to drink to it for that. But it put it over the top for me because Rhino, you are hilarious and you deserve more. So.
All right, well, you go drink to that. I didn't see that part. I must have been watching something else, the fight breakout or something.
All right, so up next, then the B team got mad and went back and was talking to Kurt and how it wasn't fair and that they should get a shot. And once again, I know I usually don't drink to these kinds of things, but because I just did not drink to something earlier because I didn't feel they were doing anything with the tag division, it wouldn't be right for me to not drink when they are trying to do something with the tag division. So Kurt announced the Battle Royal next week to find the #1 contender. And that is finally saying, oh, we have a bunch of tag teams that should be doing something.
Yeah.
So,
and I'm going to drink to that too because now we have a storyline building with the tag teams. We have, like you said, the seeds are being planted. Now let's see where they go from this. So I'll drink to that.
All right.
Absolutely.
So up next, it was very strange. Raw seemed short this week to me because all of the segments were all not overly long, but they were long enough that it made.
Yeah.
And I have a good feeling that it was probably because it was on a holiday and they didn't have the entire. I mean, Roman wasn't even there. I mean, that was kind of a shock that Roman Reigns wasn't even there. So I think there was a few people that just weren't there because of the holiday or whatever have you. But yeah, so I was a little shocked that I was like, oh my God, this is the main event already. But I feel kind of bad because the idea behind this gauntlet match with the women was awesome. I mean, remember the men's gauntlet match was fantastic.
Yeah.
But they got like almost 2 hours. I mean, I looked at the clock when the gauntlet match started for the women. I'm like, they're only going to get like 20 minutes. Like, I was a little disappointed in that because all of them are very good workers. And so, of course, the whole thing with Bailey, she ended up eliminating 2 members of the Riot Squad within like less than like 5 minutes because obviously they don't have a whole lot of time. So that's why they had to do that. So it kind of jobbed out the Riot Squad, which kind of sucked. I'm not going to lie, though. I was actually rooting for, I said at the beginning, I said I want, ironically, Bailey or Ruby Riot to win it. Those were my 2 picks. I said if either of them win it, I would drink to this. But because they gave it to Sasha again, and she rubs me the wrong way. I don't like Sasha.
She's rubbing you? All right, he's a lucky guy.
The wrong way.
Oh, the wrong way.
The wrong way. I don't know. Sasha, if you're watching this, I apologize. I don't know what it is about your gimmick, but I can't stand you. I don't know why. And everyone loves Sasha, and I don't get it.
She's the boss.
That needs to be fired. Not like from the company, but I mean, I just want her to change. If she went heel, I'd be happy.
Yeah, because we want to figure out what's going to happen here between her and Bailey, and Bailey's got too cute of a face to be to be the heel.
She can't be a heel.
Yeah, and Sasha has the attitude to actually be a heel.
So I don't know. I can't drink to this just because.
No, I'm not
like
drinking
I said,
to this either.
I feel it was booked poorly. I think the wrong person won. And Sasha, get your act together. So sorry, but man, looking a little rough for Raw this week.
Raw needs SmackDown to drop a ball right here.
And
because,
I'm sorry, I'm already going to tell you it ain't going to happen.
Yeah.
3.5 pints up for Raw. That is rough.
That's a rough one.
So, Raw, you are looking in a bad way right now. And, I mean, maybe we were a little overcritical on you this week, but
that's our job.
That's what we're here to do. So, moving on to SmackDown, should we just not? I don't think they need their 3 this week. Let's try and help Raw just a little bit.
Okay.
All right, we're not going to give them their 3. We'll give them 1. We'll give them 1. For the 1 hour they're less, we'll give them 1.
Okay, 1.
So they only get 1 drink this week.
We feel bad.
So you only get 1 this week, SmackDown, because we're taking pity on a very rough Raw this week. So you have your 1. Starts out 2 WWE shows in a row that don't start with the GM coming out first.
Finally.
Starts with Samoa Joe coming out first, which I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. This man is fire on a microphone. And like some of the stuff he was saying, like the whole like biblical stuff and bringing all that into it. And like, I was just like, dang, like this almost sounds like something like The Undertaker or Kane would say, but he actually genuinely like made me go, ooh, like that's scaring me.
Creepy.
Like that's actually scaring me coming from Samoa Joe. So then Daniel Bryan comes out because Samoa Joe goes too far talking about his family. And then Cass comes out. Which
so predictable.
It was predictable, although there was a lot of people that were not expecting. People actually legit thought he was hurt, like as I was reading on the sheets. But I also did not think it was legit. I thought it was a work. And sure enough, it was, because he was cleared, and he's trying to throw his weight around and say, well, Paige says it's back to me and Joe and not you, Daniel Bryan. So all of a sudden now it's not Daniel Bryan and Samoa Joe, which I was disappointed in.
That'd been a good match.
Yeah, I was disappointed in at first.
But that's too good of a match to give away on just like
and it is, and I think that's why they did this. So yeah. I get it. And I don't know. I'm tempted to drink to this segment because it was actually a very strong segment overall.
Yeah. Good segment. What got me, though, to not drink to this, and I'm sorry. Cass coming out. It was just so predictable. All of a sudden, nope, I don't need my crutch anymore. Like, that hasn't happened before.
No.
Sorry, that's where I got to stop because it was just so predictable.
All right. I'll leave my pint down, too, on this.
We're being overcritical on these today.
We are. I don't know if it's the heat and we're just hot and grumpy or what.
It's been 100 in Minnesota, and you guys think that we freeze all year.
Oh, God, no. It is hotter than Hades
and
right now, and this building does not have AC, so...
could you guys all fork in donation? We'll get some AC in here.
Yeah, we should. We'll be starting our Patreon soon, and any little bit will help. Any little bit. Oh, I can't drink that yet. No.
I'll drink to that.
All right, we're drinking to our Patreon that's going to be kicking off soon. This is not counting towards SmackDown.
That's damn good beer.
All right. So up next, Paige backstage, and she's kind of in a fluster because she's mad that Cass kind of overstepped his bounds, and Paige obviously wants to be the one to announce stuff, so you could tell she was all fired up. And then of course, who does she run into? Her old friends.
Yep, old friends.
And then makes Mandy Rose have to go against Asuka coming up, which I don't know why, but I was like, I'm kind of looking forward to that. I don't know why, since Mandy Rose has zero momentum, but for some reason, maybe it was I was just excited to see Asuka wrestle again, because I feel like it's been like 2 or 3
I feel like
weeks.
we haven't talked about her wrestling in quite some time.
So maybe that was all it was. I was just excited to see Asuka. But then the next part was kind of fun, where Renee wanted to talk to her, and she's like, keep walking with me. It was just really fun. I don't know what it was about this whole backstage segment, because it just made me smile, and makes a triple threat match now between Daniel Bryan, Big Cass, and Joe. So I was excited to see that Daniel Bryan was back in the mix. And I was actually kind of the same boat you were. I think they needed to do it this way, because it was Daniel Bryan and Samoa Joe should be a much bigger match. There should be a bigger build to it. So I think this is why they did this. I think it was smart. It was actually very smart booking to do it this way. Yep. I don't know. As a whole, I really liked this backstage segment, and Paige is starting to impress me as a GM lately. I think, granted, I know she doesn't really make the decisions. Yeah. Sorry, kayfabe, you're dead. But I like the way she's playing it well. She's playing the part well, I guess is the best way to put it. So
I'm going to go off the storyline horror in me, and that is that the Asuka and the Mandy Rose match, like you said, there was no momentum for Mandy Rose. What's the point of this match? Jeez, I'm not really sure either, so I don't want to drink to just do that fact. But yes, the backstage segment, it was good. That was great, but...
Screw it, I'm thirsty.
He's thirsty.
I'm drinking to it. And Paige, you are actually getting this drink.
Perfect. Paige is getting the drink.
Shinsuke and Ty Dillinger. And I totally get it. This was actually, in my eyes, this was brilliant booking. With the whole last man standing thing coming up and counting to 10... They're like, oh, well, whose gimmick is 10? So I actually think that this was brilliant. Whoever came up with this backstage did a good job. And, of course, we knew what was going to happen. We knew Shinsuke Nakamura was going to win this match.
How could he not?
But Ty got some decent offense in. He had a couple of really good moments. Like that whole bit where he counts to 9, and then he got up, and he was like, Shinsuke was all shocked, and then he does the 10. Like, I actually, kind of got one of those, moments. That was well done.
This is clever booking. I think it should have been maybe closer to Money in the Bank, but it was still kind of interesting. Maybe they're going to do something more. But yes, it was predictable. I knew it was going to happen, but the storytelling was good, and I'm going to drink to that part.
I'm totally drinking this, too.
Absolutely.
I'm drinking also the fact that, hey, apparently Ty is still employed by the WWE.
Oh, he is? Well, maybe he had a one-night contract.
I know. We hadn't seen him in so long. I didn't know.
Must be working NXT shows.
Yeah. AJ backstage, just giving his whole shtick on. But the one thing I will say though is he didn't tear down Shinsuke as a wrestler. He tore down him as a cheap jerk. But he gave him props for his wrestling style. He even said, yes, he's the king of strong style. Yes, he is a tough guy. So I kind of like that they're keeping it, somewhat civil, I guess is the best way to put it. Yeah. Obviously, he's not thrilled with the fact that there's all the low blows, but...
See, okay, so to me that's confusing. He's saying he's the king of strong style. He's a good wrestler, but he's obviously showing that he can't win without nut shots or whatever's happening here. So to me, that makes the backstage segment makes no sense. Now, I don't know if we're drinking this or not.
He just didn't look at it that way.
Either way, I'm not drinking to it no matter what. But if he's going to call him a good wrestler, then why does he keep nut-shotting him? It doesn't make any sense. But I'm also not in the WWE, so I'm not drinking to it if we are drinking, if this is one of those moments, but I'm not drinking to it.
I'm not going to drink to it either for 2 reasons. One,
I made a good point.
You made a good point. 2, that's 2 weeks in a row that we did not get to see AJ Styles wrestle.
Oh, yeah.
And AJ Styles is exceptionally entertaining to watch wrestle.
What's he doing?
Well, there's a lot of, I guess he's dark matching.
Okay.
to keep people to stick around for 205.
Oh yeah.
So I
true.
think he's actually doing a dark match with people after 205 Live. So and of course they tell the crowd that they're like, oh, AJ Styles will be up wrestling.
Okay, yep, makes sense because they used to do. I remember when I was at Raw in Milwaukee in 2007, they did Sunday Night Heat when that was a thing, and then it went on to Monday Night Raw.
Up next,
Rusev Day.
This was a little weird to me because they announced it earlier in the show that they were gonna have a dance-off with Lana and Naomi, which ironically, call me part stalker, but like I actually know that Lana actually is trained as a dancer and a gymnast, so I'm thinking to myself, okay, so they're trying to book this as everyone's going to be like, oh, Naomi dances all the time. She's going to totally
into
smoke.
the casual crowd. Yeah, that's what you know.
So, but to me, I'm going like, I know for a fact that Lana's probably a 50 bazillion times better dancer than Naomi. So I was a little weirded out by this, but once again,
He's a stalker.
I'm not a stalker.
No.
I like to do my research.
Yeah,
you know?
He's a researcher.
I do a lot of research. But either which way, for some strange reason, this worked for me. I don't know what it was. I think it was because of the people involved. Because Rusev and Aiden do so well together. I love the fact that they are a trifecta now. But here, see, I want to drink to this, but my biggest holdup is last week, Rusev, Lana, and Aiden were portrayed as faces. This week, now they're heels again. So it's like
flip-flopping.
They're flip-flopping this. But at the same time, as a whole, ironically, I felt that this worked. I don't know why. I enjoyed it. I was laughing for most of it. Like I thought it was funny.
I like this. The dance-off seems cheesy. I was just wondering when it was just a matter of time before one of them does something.
Yep.
But they kept getting further and further in the dance.
And then they were working together,
and then all of a sudden they do this.
And then
bam, there goes the neck
breaker.
breaker. And I was like, oh, yes, sweet. Now we got something like, just a dick move. And they are the heels, and I think that's – but, I thought the Usos were heels.
No, the Usos went face when they, made nice with the New Day after their Hell in a Cell match. Because remember, they gave them props, and apparently giving another team props and respecting them now means you're a good guy.
Oh, my bad. Anyways.
Well, come on, let's be real. The face and heel turns in the WWE have not necessarily made sense recently.
It's wrestling. It doesn't always make sense because people have short memory sometimes. But I'm going to drink this segment, and it was kind of funny. I was just, and then also
it was
the neck
entertaining
breaker.
as hell. It just really was.
Perfect.
Up next, New Day versus The Bar and The Miz. And this was actually a really good match. I thought this was the match of the night, easily. As far as the actual work, the storytelling, still teasing a little bit about who of the New Day is actually going to be the one that's going to be in the Money in the Bank.
Yep.
And then just so many, just really memorable spots. Xavier Woods, you had said 2 weeks ago, God, that guy can work way more than anyone really ever thought that guy can. Yep. Kofi Kingston's complete run across the ring, jumping not onto the turnbuckle, clearing the turnbuckle to the ring post, and then bounding off. I mean, the New Day, for as goofy as they are probably three of the best workers in the tag division.
I'm just surprised how long they're still together, but I think that there could be. Maybe this might be the split time.
I think this is it. I personally think this is it. I think that I said it 2 weeks ago when we had this discussion. I think it's going to be Big E, and I think this is going to be his opportunity to finally break off, and whether it's to get put into the U.S. title scene or the championship scene, I just think he's going to go solo.
Yep.
I don't know if it's going to be an admirable breakup or if he's going to turn on him. I don't know what's
turn always makes it better depending if he's a heel or not.
It does. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I'm going to drink to this just because, everyone did their job so well in this. The Bar looked good. The Miz looked good. It was 2 losses or 2 pins in a week or in a row for the Miz, but it's still, I don't know, to me it still didn't make him look weak.
Well, it's hard because, you got 3 big time guys there. I mean, one of them's gonna get pinned. It's just a matter of
Yeah.
who. Having Miz get pinned though, it kind of stinks. Just because he's more of a singles guy now that he doesn't have his B team players.
But at the same time, this could also be looked at as 50-50 booking. Does that mean that he's being pushed up to maybe be the one who wins Money in the Bank?
Right. Yeah, and that too.
You know, since he is taking all these losses, maybe all of a sudden that's where he's going to shine. Who knows?
I'm
We'll
still
see what
drinking
happens.
to it either way.
Let's drink. Our beer's getting warm. Up next. First off, I love the Good Brothers. So good. I love everything about it. I love that they're the number one contenders. I am exceptionally looking forward to their match with the Bludgeon Brothers at Money in the Bank. I'm still on the fence on how I feel about this whole bit, though. The backstage thing where they get interviewed, and then Anderson, like, talking and referring to his hot Asian wife was kind of funny. I actually laughed really hard at that. But I don't know. It was well done. Kind of missed that they never actually got to say nerds, but I don't know. And then the whole, like, all of a sudden the Bludgeon Brothers appearing on the TV behind them, like, it was creepy. It was good story building towards it, but I don't know how I feel about this.
Nah, it's just a backstage segment.
Well, no, it was, but
yeah.
I'm
Oh
I'm
no,
torn.
it was kind of interesting.
Yeah,
that's for
it was
sure.
different. It was very different than what we've seen
Right.
in a long time.
They're still keeping the Bludgeon Brothers are still keeping kind of that creepy aspect to them that they've always
Yeah,
had
and-
with Bray.
But I don't feel like we've had this in WWE in a long time. Like,
been a
these are
while.
real straight up characters. Like,
Yeah.
that they are terrifying. They're almost like larger than life Jason Voorhees,
Yeah, that's
like
true. It's
Mike
like a
Myers.
Horror, it's like a horror movie.
It really is, and I think they're doing a good job at it. They're not going too over the top with it yet, but I always feel like WWE ends up taking it over the top. But it's keeping me very interested on where this is going to go, and I
Right.
still am very curious on where Sanity is going to come in with this, because there's been rumors that they've given up on that already, and they haven't even.
Saw that.
But I don't get it. It's like they haven't even given him a chance.
I know one of our buddies tagged us in a post on Facebook about it, and I saw that. And
I think it's a bad decision to completely shove Sanity back under the rug.
Or-
I think this is a great opportunity for them to be put back into it. I think Money in the Bank would be a great opportunity for them to debut.
right,
Come out and interfere in that
you should
match.
let them see what happens first. If it gets poor feedback, then I guess then you can ditch it. But
Yeah.
if you ditch it and try to come back to it, it ain't gonna work.
Well, heck, look at the Revival got pushed back down on NXT,
Yeah,
which I think is actually good for them, because they're more of an indie type tag team that I think
there's
is.
no money there, Paul.
I know there's no money there,
They
but
don't care about that. So
We'll
yes,
see.
for the fan, that's great that they did, but for their pocketbook, no.
We'll see what happens.
Unfortunate.
We'll see what happens. All right, Mandy Rose versus Asuka. I just don't know why, but I was very excited for this, and I really think it is because we have not seen Asuka wrestle in like 3 weeks. So it was nice to see her in the ring. I liked the whole Sonya Deville attacks her early, so it actually gives Mandy Rose a chance. Of course, she still loses with the Asuka lock, and then it adds that tension with Carmella because they're having their match at Money in the Bank. Overall, I think I can drink to this. I think it kept the women's division championship scene moving forward, and I still feel kind of bad that Absolution has really been buried now. But for sake of story building, I think it worked.
I feel like they have a lot of women all of a sudden, even in both brands, Raw and
Very true.
SmackDown. And like you said, we haven't seen, or we didn't see Natalia this week, and stuff like that. So a lot of these girls are now gone. I don't know where they were, because not like WWE cares about a holiday for the most part. I mean,
Yeah.
Monday's Monday, Tuesday's Tuesday, no matter what holiday falls on it. I don't want to drink to this just because I feel like there's a lot of women right now, and I'm confused as to who's really the one that's going to be stepping up here for Carmella.
No,
'Cause
I'm
what-
going to drink to it
What
anyway.
happened to
though.
Charlotte? Where'd she go?
Well,
What
she's
happened?
going to be in Money in the Bank, so
Okay.
she's coming up.
She's going to make that match great, actually.
Yep.
But all these women
there's
are
a lot
talented.
of there's a lot of actually women that are
All
gonna make
all
that
these
match
women are
really good.
talented, whether
So-
people believe it or not. A lot of them are gymnasts and stuff
Yeah, he
like
doesn't
that.
go to the bathroom anymore during them. Remember?
I don't.
He actually watches the matches.
I
now.
know. It's weird.
So, well, I'm gonna drink to it.
Go
so
for it.
I haven't had a solo drink. Oh, I did.
Yeah,
I
you
did.
have.
I had one during Raw. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Up next, backstage segment between Charlotte and Becky. Obviously, they both want to win Money in the Bank. I actually liked the whole bit with the where she's looking off to the distance. She goes, "I just see myself winning Money in the Bank," and then Becky goes, I see a wall. Like, I love the little touches of comedy they're like really trying to push back into WWE.
Well, that's always funny though.
It is, and,
because
like,
obviously they're looking at a wall or something.
Yeah,
somewhere in
it
the distance.
it like adds this like another layer to me that it makes me laugh, it makes me smile. Plus, anything Becky Lynch is gonna do is gonna make me happy. So, because Becky Lynch, you're my girlfriend. You just don't know it yet. You just don't know it yet. Nope, she doesn't know yet.
All right.
Someday. But the only really thing I can say about this, though, is I'm excited that we're going to get a match between Charlotte and Becky next week. And I think that's going to be a really good match.
one.
It's going to be a good
Maybe
match.
they're finally bringing Becky back up instead of burying her.
It's about time. She was the original SmackDown Women's Champion.
Yeah,
And
I
ever
know.
since she lost it, they just kind of... So I think this is finally going to be her opportunity to come back up.
Yep.
Is this worth a drink? I don't think I can.
No,
I don't think I
this
can.
is a backstage segment.
Well, we've drank into
I
backstage
know we
segments
have,
before, but this one it was good. It did what it needed to
I
do,
feel like
but
their
it wasn't.
match is going to be a drinkable one next week.
Yes, absolutely. And if it's not, then they're going to do something really wrong. Next, another backstage segment, and it was really funny because I was on the Twitter machine at this exact moment, and someone was saying that they were turning off SmackDown because Andrade Cien Almas wasn't on SmackDown, and then all of a sudden he was on SmackDown. And I have to say, when the bit first started, I started groaning. I'm like, oh God, this is where they're going to go with this. But when all was said and done, I actually kind of liked how it turned out because it's really continuing to make him seem like a dickbag. Like here he has someone that he's been friends with for years, and now it's like, nope, I'm too good for you now that I'm up on the main roster, and totally takes Sin Cara and basically gives him a backhand in the face, figuratively, obviously.
Right.
And if that means we're going to get a match, though, next week between Sin Cara and Andrade Cien Almas, I'm cool with that because that's finally someone with a name that he'll be facing.
Right.
It's been all jobbers, so once again, I'm not going to drink to this, but I'm excited because I was starting to get really bored with what they were doing with him. So this is finally starting to go back uphill.
We'll see what happens.
So, but not drinking to it. So then, also then they announced a mixed tag match for next week. So it's going to be Lana and Aiden English versus one of the Usos, and I'm so bad at keeping those two apart. So,
Yeah, that's tough.
And Naomi, and I'm actually looking forward to that too. I think that's actually going to be a really fun match.
I find it weird though that Aiden English is going to be.
I said that too. I said I figured it would have been Rusev, but I think they, unfortunately, I think this means that Aiden and Lana are going to lose, and Aiden's going to take the pin because they don't want to make Rusev look weak before Money in the Bank, and they don't want to make Lana look weak right before Money in the Bank. So unfortunately, I think it means Aiden's taking the pin.
So he already knows the outcome.
Prediction, I could be wrong, but that's my prediction on why they booked it the way they did. Last match, I like legit was blown away that there was like almost a half an hour for this triple threat match. Almost, not quite, but still, it's been a long time since they've given this much time for a main event. So
usually Seth Rollins is doing that in the first segment.
Right? So here it is, the main event. We had Samoa Joe versus Big Cass versus Daniel Bryan. And it was a really good match.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised they actually did that. That's like a decently, I would say a pay-per-view match.
No,
but you don't think so?
I wouldn't quite put it quite there. Unfortunately, and the reason why I think is because of Cass. But at the same time, I got to give props to Cass. He held his own.
Oh, yeah.
He actually really held his own in this match. Everyone got highlighted where they needed to be. I think Daniel Bryan really got pushed hard in this match. I mean, he was literally, there were so many moments where he was taking on both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
So he really was the underdog, like fighting for his freaking life. But I have to say, I was actually very happy with the outcome. I think it came out the way it needed to. I think I understand finally what they're doing with Daniel Bryan. I know a lot of people are still really mad that it seems like this Big Cass Daniel Bryan feud is still going on. But I think what they're doing is they're really trying to seem like they're pushing Daniel Bryan down. So eventually he can come up out of the muck and
just like when he won his
again.
Titles at WrestleMania
Exactly.
30. Everyone's like, oh, boo, boo, boo. I'm like, yeah, it's just he's going to win. It was almost predictable.
So
But
I think that's what they're doing. They want to try and recapture that again.
And you got to because he's a big-time player.
Absolutely. And I actually think Samoa Joe could go all the way with Money in the Bank, too. He's actually probably, as many other people that I would like to win that, I think Samoa Joe would make the most sense.
Yeah.
So I think this was a smart move. I like the way it finished because it still does not make Daniel Bryan look that weak.
Right.
Because, he basically had the match won. And the only reason he lost was because he was pinning Cass. So
and I'm surprised that they built Cass up as quickly to the top as they have to a main event spot. I mean, ever since Enzo left, all of a sudden they're like, oh, let's give Cass a huge push, and hopefully he just takes the ball and runs with it, as most people want to do. But I think that SmackDown just has all these main event stars right now. When you have these three, then you have Miz. I mean, you got like 4 guys right there, and then you got AJ Styles, and then you got Shinsuke, which I'm not a big, huge fan of his work. But you still have like 6 people there, and that's a lot to work with. Yeah,
it's just after that superstar shakeup, I just really feel that the scale is really tilted towards SmackDown right now, and hence why, because we're going to drink to this.
Yep.
And this is going to put SmackDown at the top again this week.
Well over the top.
So that's it. I mean, SmackDown comes out on top again. And they didn't even need that free drink. They still would have been okay without that free drink, because Raw was just a really rough show this week, and I think it's because there was just a lot of gaps. I mean, as much as I'm not a Roman fan, I think he could have really changed the feel of that show. A couple other people missing, Natalya, that I think could have changed the feeling of the show.
Right.
I just feel like it was Raw was just really sloppily put together. It was almost like it was put together last minute. Like something changed backstage that they weren't expecting, and they had to throw everything together. But then on the flip side, I feel like SmackDown was really smooth and flowed really well. So I don't know what happened there, but SmackDown, well done. You're keeping your momentum going.
But even so, that Raw didn't do that well. My moment of the week comes from Raw, which would be when Elias hit Seth Rollins in the back of the head or back with the guitar, and then all the people start singing happy birthday. To me, it was hilarious.
It was very funny.
Obviously, the crowd, they love Seth Rollins. They love all their people. I mean, if they saw him on the street, they would love all these guys, no matter if they boo him or they cheer him at the arena. But, I mean, it's thoughtful, I would say, but it was hilarious, even though something major just happened before that.
My moment of the week, I actually think I have to go for the 6-man tag with the New Day and the Bar and the Miz. I just really find that was a strong match. I feel that was really building the correct people. It made the Miz still look good. The Bar still looked good. The New Day looked fantastic coming out of it as well. Just a lot of great work, and it still has me itching. Who the hell are they going to pick for Money in the Bank?
Yeah.
And that's why it's my moment of the week, because I'm still just tell me. But
hey, that's a cliffhanger.
Yep, exactly. So well done, good storytelling there. That's why it's the moment of the week for Paul. But that's it. SmackDown coming out on top again. 5.5 drinks, still kind of low for them though. But still.
But we didn't give them the other 2. We only gave them
that
1.
Is true.
They would have killed it. They would be right up where they normally are. They've been at 7.5.
That is true. So it would have been 7.5 to 3.5 to Raw. But since we were a little easier on them, it's 5.5 to 3.5. Raw, you just really need to figure out what you're doing. It's just a mess over there right now. Figure it out. But that being said, that is another edition of Pints Up or Down for SmackDown and Raw. We will be back again next week to keep you updated and logical about your wrestling. Make sure you like the video, share the video, subscribe to the YouTube page, and we'll see you guys again next week.
And remember, and if you want to book me for any shows, you can email me, chrisjacobson18@yahoo.com. You can get me on Instagram at chrissteele25, or you can hit me up on Facebook under Chris Steele. If you want me on the show, I got some upcoming dates coming up, but I still got some free dates, so get at me.